We're all gonna die, it's just a fact of life. It doesn't matter how much money you have, it doesn't matter how much power you have, it doesn't matter how popular you are or how talented you are. The Grim Reaper, he's coming for you. And I think that's something that we should think about more often because I think it puts a lot of things in perspective. I was watching the news the other day, and there was this story about this guy who was ranting and raving because his steak was overcooked. And it got me thinking, why are we so worked up about stuff like this? If you think about the big picture, it's just steak, right? Is that really worth getting upset about? No, and then I thought about the people who get really upset about politics. They'll scream at each other and fight with each other and do all these stupid things, all because of some differences in opinion. But at the end of the day, does it really matter? Are we really gonna be so worked up about this decades from now when we re-looking back at our lives? No. There is this great story about two guys who were hanging out on a park bench and they were just watching the world go by. And one of them turned to the other and he said, I'm really upset about something. And the other guy looked at him and he's like, what's up? And he said, well, earlier today, I was driving down the street and this guy cut me off, and so I honked at him and he gave me the finger and called me a name and I was just thinking about it. Is this what it's all about, Is this what life is about? Getting upset at people who don't even know you exist. And the other guy just looked at him and he said, no, you're not listening. He was in his 90s, the guy that cut you off. He probably had less than a year to live, maybe a few years, right? Do you really want to waste your time being upset at someone who's about to die? I mean, think about it. All the plans that he has, all the places he wants to go, all the things he wants to do, all the people he wants to see, he's not gonna be able to do any of that now, right? Because he pissed out, instead of keeping your foot on the gas and going for it, he decided to play it safe and slow down and he's gonna pay for it. So the guy who was telling the story, he said, well, yeah, I guess you're right. I guess I do ain't when nah waste my time being upset at someone who is about to die. So he let it go. Most of us, we have no idea how much time we have left. Most of us, we're gonna die sooner than we think, right? So don't waste your time being upset at people who are wasting their own time. I think the best thing that we can do, especially as we get older, is we should try to make peace with the people around us, right? We should try to forgive them for their trespasses and ask them to forgive us for ours. And I think the reason we should do that is because none of us knows what is gonna happen tomorrow. We could all be gone tomorrow, so don't go to bed angry, right? Make sure that you kiss your loved ones goodnight and tell them how much you love them and appreciate them. Tell them how much you love and appreciate your friends, your family, your parents, your kids. Don't wait. I used to wait until my dad's birthday to tell him how much I appreciated him, or how much I loved him, or how proud I was of him. But then one day I woke up and I was like, man, I'm not gonna be around for his next birthday. So why am I waiting, So I called him and I told him all the things that I needed to tell him, and I told him how much I loved him, and I was glad that I did because he passed away a few months later. And I was glad that I didn't wait. So if there's anything you need to say to anyone, don't wait to say it because none of us knows how much time we have left. And when you look at the big picture, death is just a part of life. It's something that we should all accept. And I think if we can accept it, it helps put a lot of things in perspective. It helps us realize that most of the stuff that we stress about doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. So let's try to enjoy life while we can, right? Let us try to make the most of every day because none of us knows what is gonna happen tomorrow.